Hello ladies. I guess this time YouTube allowed me to go in right away. I didn't have to wait and see when it's going to let me in. But as you can see, I usually get on earlier, but because it's during the weekend, I have to wait for it. Hi Sharon. So as I said last time, I was going to bake the mug and then sand it so I can have a nice here I had actually a bubble that somehow I didn't notice, and I just sanded it off, and because I sanded it off and because there are different layers, I got a little sun-like thingy. But anyway, what I wanted to show you is that even if I was very careful, I still have a little bit of a, see how this doesn't come up that good. Hi Anna. So, and yes, it is this Sunday, the live is at 10:30 because, well, initially they weren't sure when it was going to be, and initially it was supposed to be around like 2-ish, and the whole thing was that I didn't want to start a live and then get into some really bad weather and have to stop it and then go crazy trying to figure out. But anyway, this is what we are in, a moderate risk for severe thunderstorms, including tornadoes, and as you can see, it's gonna be not fun tonight. But anyway, and then yesterday afternoon they started talking about it actually coming much later in the afternoon, but you know, I had already announced it for 10:30, so I didn't want to go back and forth like crazy on this. Hi Beth. So one thing that you can do, and I know I just finished ordering some new blades because I'm completely out. So one thing that you can do after you baked is you can either get one of those diamond files, you know, and kind of hold it like this and file, or you can simply get your X-Acto knife and very gently shave off what is not in the proper place. I didn't finish off this edge on purpose because I wanted to show you how to do it. Just make sure that you remove all the little slivers that might be left behind. So as you can see, you can finish off the whatever is not absolutely perfect, you can finish it with your X-Acto knife. And then the other thing you can do is to just come and make sure that you got all these little shreds. I still have a little bit here. Just be very careful and don't try to get too much at a time because the clay might crack. Hi Darla. What the heck is this? Is YouTube hiding the good morning everyone? I have no idea. Anyway, let me see. Is this, it's a little bit too bright. Let me change this to a pinch darker. There we go. Much more natural. Okay, so what can we do to make it look really, really pretty? So here I had the fingernail nick, and it just gathered dust from when I sanded it. So my first thing will be, and I know I said I was going to have them all ready, but I've been just busy getting my house ready for possible tornado warning, and that implies emptying my closet and making room for the whatchamacallit, where's my acrylic block? There we go. For the cat's carriers and all that, and going outside and securing all the patio stuff I have. And if you live in an area that's prone to severe weather, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's go first a little bit of grass, with a little bit of grass, just, you know, to give it an atmosphere. And I'm going to do it in one piece, I mean in one go, but usually when I do this kind of stuff, I like to, you know, like make the bottom decorations, then do a pre-bake. What are you doing? Finnegan has the zoomies. Do a pre-bake for about 15 minutes and then do the top part, because that's when you can hold it, you know, on one side and work on this side, and then you can hold it on this side and work on this side. You know, that's a more sensible thing to do, but I didn't want to go into yet another Sunday. All right, so we're gonna do some nice grass, of course with black, because obviously this is a night scene, night Halloween scene. Finnegan! Goodness gracious me. He runs through the house with his fluffy tail up. Okay, so I'm going to put some right here, and for that obviously I'm going to need a little bit of bacon bond. And generally speaking, I've seen a lot of mugs done with the elements, and I think I said that last time, with the elements kind of sticking out. Yeah, you can do that if you want to, but your problem, if you do it like that, your problem will be when washing it, because if you have all kinds of little flowers and things sticking out, and yeah, the polymer clay is fairly hardy and sturdy, but especially if you have a thinner thing, it might just get let me get this out of the way. Okay, so you start practically kind of here and just pull it on top, because you want a little bit of squishy, extended kind of stuff. So this is one way to make the grass, and it's going to look kind of three-dimensional. And I'll show you another way of making the grass. Don't place it all straight, because you want a little bit of movement there, and obviously the grass kind of moves a little bit. Then after you place some, let me get a couple more here to cover all the after you place some, you can use either your X-Acto knife or a needle. First of all, let's trim this off. You can use either your X-Acto knife or your needle tool, and come here and refine it a little bit. So what you want to do, I use this needle on resin. What you want to do is to just gently make it more natural, because if you're gonna have just a bunch of stick-like things, poking out, it's not going to look very natural. Grab that X-Acto knife, because that one I really need to clean it properly. And I will do, hi Elaine, hi Wendy, I will do a giveaway next Sunday, because I've been thinking, should I do a one now, and I didn't announce it in time, but I will do it next Sunday, and it will be for people who the same as I did the last one. Remember, when people first came in, I would put them on the list, and at the end I would do a little drawing, and if they are not there, they lose it and it goes to the next person. But it's going to be another $100 gift certificate for PolyClay Play. Okay, now let's do a little tree, of course, all dead and dry and all that. So in order to do that, I still have a little bit of bacon bond here, but I'm going to kind of design it already. So this is pretty much what you need. And you can, if you want to refine this, you can grab, and I'll grab mine as soon as I find it. I did some rearranging on my table, so things are not where I knew them to be. So you can grab anything that, you can even do this with a paintbrush, but you don't want it to be too thick. Oh, come on, come here. So you don't want it to be too thick, because it's going to show from underneath if you leave it too thick, obviously. So you want to go a little bit. And as I said, you can use a thin paintbrush if you want. And see, here I have another nick that I'm going to cover with a little branch. All right. So let's start placing branches. In the beginning, when I first do it, it won't look that terrific, but after I place all of them, I'll show you how to finish the whole thing. You're gonna have to do just a pinch of sculpting. But even if it's just a pinch, you still need to be careful how you do it to make it look awesome. So I'm just going to first put them where I already have the bacon bond, and then just gently cover where I have naked spaces. And I think it might need one more. I'm gonna pull from here. Okay, so let's give it one more branch. And you kind of cover everywhere you're going. You kind of put together all the little strings that you have placed here. You kind of bunch them into each other. Now, let's start doing a little bit of I don't have the bacon bond here. And there we go. And you might want to keep to let it be for like 5 minutes, because remember the bacon bond thickens out and your stuff will be much more secure. So first I'm going to go ahead and gently flatten some of this, not completely, just some of it where they go together. Or if I have more than one branch and they have come together too. And see, I'm using the flat part of the blade and go in the direction of the flat part of the blade. Now remember, all these have a bacon bond underneath, right? So I'm going to separate this. Oops. Don't go too hard because you scratch like I just did. So I'm going to do this and this, and this goes off. Again, cut this, place it in a different position, and it goes off. And we get all our branches looking fairly realistic, Because remember, all these things have bake and bond underneath. Just do the tops. Hi Chris, how's the weather there? Is the fall there yet? And one more branch. And then we should be good to go. This one went off the bacon bondy thing. Okay, so we have a pretty neat, and as I said, if you have areas where it's relatively naked, it's got empty spaces, just fill it in. And then I'm not sure if you can see, but I left some lines when I flattened these relatively together, because, and you'll do the same thing on the roots. You want the roots to be a little bit separate and not very long. Let's do this root kind of like this. So you see that I still left some lines, and I'm going to try and keep this in this angle so you can see what I'm doing. Just go ahead and give it a few more lines even. Including on the, see, this one is not. Because you want a little bit of texture, but not just little strings together. Hi Colleen. Really directly, no in-betweens. So this would be some elements. Let's now do another element, and we're gonna do it on this side. And I'm sorry, my nose is super itchy because of the pollen outside. Now, as I did before, and I showed you how to do them, I ordered some new blades. And you want this on a relatively thin-ish thickness. I use the 5 on the makings. So you want to go pretty much in a V, and then give it the little curves for the wings. And this is what we are going to glue. Hi Adelaide, you don't have to apologize. It's not like there's a roaster being called. Okay, now let's grab that and put it on the and now we are going to embellish it a little bit, because obviously it doesn't seem to be having a head and it looks a little bit weird, right? So let's make it a little bit of a body, and this should be enough of a body. So round up the edges, at least the first edge, and then remember how I showed you before how to do a little thinning, just, and this is valid for butterflies and bees and whatever other things you might want to do. So this one is a little bit too long here. And I'm gonna cut it in two and give it two little legs, paws, back paws. By the way, another thing, let me see if I have them here. I need to pick them up. If you have one of those itty bitty doodle cutters, and you seem to have issues doing those cuts for the wings, and this you can find at PolyClay, or if you have a I don't know, one of those camper cutters, or like I got these, I even forgot, these were for my dolls actually, but you can find stuff like this like from an old chime or things like that. But anyway, let's grab a little cutter, and to do all that bat wing, so theoretically you have a large, listen, you can use a round one obviously, and then go a little bit rounded and go a little bit rounded. So this is your primary shape for the bat, right? And then you grab your little cuttery thing and you do the cuttings. Oops. Sorry, coming from the left to the right. I think I said before that I'm severely right-handed. And this is how you can do the shape if you cannot cut it directly like you saw me cutting. And by the way, when you try to cut shapes like this, your best bet is not the X-Acto knife, is the needle, even if mine needs resin cleaning. But generally speaking, let me grab, why? Because this is a blade, so it's kind of flattish, right? While the needle, with the needle, you don't have issues like that. So if you go with the needle doing this, if you go with the needle doing this, then you can just poke and lift. Again, get your primary shape done. Again, this is, make sure that your clay is well. Yes, you can use that for holly leaves too. Yes, absolutely. I think I did that. Didn't I do a holly brooch? I don't know if last year or 2 years ago. Give me just a second. Yeah, bow of holly. I mean, there's some canes and there's the, let me see how I did it, if I did it the same. Okay, let's go to the leaves. So you see, I just used and I used the cutter actually. Oops, I just went past. I used the little oval cutter, you know, the smallest. But that's exactly what you can do. Yes. Okay, let's go back here. Yes, definitely. And generally speaking, as I said, the needle, you have more freedom of form with it than you do with the blade, because again, the blade is flat and it's kind of hard to do round with it. Okay, let's go back to our little Mr. Bat here. So the other thing that I want to do is to make it a little bit of ears, right? Because we want the bat to have ears, so I'm going to just push in, stay there, and then bring the edges up. I mean, ideally you have a little round thing here that I don't want to get up and get, but you can use your, you don't need a lot of big ear thing there, and then you can just give it again some bat texture. And remember that I did, and you'll find in the Halloween playlist on my channel, you can find the kawaii bats earrings, how to make bat earrings. Another thing that you can use for them, you can actually give them a little bit of ribbon, those little fingers that help them fly. Oops, I need to clean my fingers, I'm getting sticky. Just place some on the, exactly going towards the tips of your little cutouts. Now, if you don't want to mess with all this, thank you. I was planning to get me some really Halloween themed stuff, but as I said, I've been busy getting ready for the bad weather tonight. Okay, if you don't want to be messing with all this kind of sculpture and stuff, the other thing you can do is to just use, if you go in my Amazon influencer store and you look under the molds, you'll find this towards the end. It's a relatively cheap, let me let me check, unless they raise the price, By the way, I was so miffed yesterday. I posted on my Facebook. I have several things that I obviously buy every month, you know, like cat litter and cat food and things like that, you know. And I go to order cat litter. And it's a good thing that I noticed, because number one, I see that it wasn't $24.99, it was $19.99. Because I usually get the Clean Paws, the one that's non-tracking, you know. And it comes in a big box where you have two smaller boxes, each of 18.5 pounds, so it's 37 pounds. That's why it's so much. But anyway, so I start ordering it, and right when I was in the checkout, I look and I'm like, what the heck? What is that? And I'll show you here in a second. Look at this. Oops. Look at this seller. $220 for shipping. So yeah, be very careful this time of year now with all the shopping that's being done. So be very careful. Anyway, so it's $8. This one is $8 because I have, towards the end, I have all kinds of stuff for various holidays. You can see I have here a holly mold, and this is the Halloween mold. So if you don't want to be bothered with all that sculpting and things, I know. And it's not the first one, because I've seen a few. I was looking for something and I've seen a few other ones that were charging like they would put the price for the item like $2 or $3 and then charge like $60 for shipping. Okay, so you can use white or you can use translucent if you want more of the look of bone. Your best bet is not pure translucent, but like 3 parts translucent, 1 part white, and that's going to look really pretty when. But one thing I have to tell you, mine won't show that good right now because I forgot to do a very, very thorough conditioning. You need your clay. This is a sugar craft, so it's the soft kind. You need a very, very soft clay to get your molds from this specific mold because it is sugar craft. So if the clay is too hard, it might actually squish the little elements here, you know. So, and you don't want to fill all of it. If you decide to use this specific mold, you don't have to fill all of it. Just the part with the skulls and whatever is coming out. Hi, Karen. So I'm making sure that it is in there good. And then I'm going to take it out and kind of cut out if I have any extras. Like, see right here. So I have my pure skull thingy. And obviously, here you're gonna want to put a little bit of black, right? So Let's give it a little bit of black. And the rest you can obviously use a little bit of chalk pastels or even acrylic paint. By the way, before I forget, PolyClay Play has the new Cernit pearl. What? Where are you? Are you bored? He went and is sitting there in the corner telling me that he's bored. And I've been on here too long. It's time for me to go back and pay attention to him. What are you doing? Finnegan. I'm trying to find a paintbrush that's smaller here. There we go. Okay, I didn't put it very good. Grab a ball stylus. And let's give it the nose thing. Now, in order to antique this, you do not want black. You want something more like beigeish brownish. Give me just a second. What are you doing? I'm just grabbing the artisan crafts because it's easier for me, because I don't have to take so much room as I'm working on other stuff. But as I said, your best bet is chalk pastels, not the artisan crafts. So you don't want black. This is umber. So what you want is just a little bit of brownish stuff, but not black, because it's going to make it look horrible if you do it directly black. So you can even use beigeish stuff for it if you want. But in order to make it look bonish, as I said, you don't want the black. Pretty much never use black when you're trying to do bone. I mean, I used black here for the... Yeah, I have actually, using this, I have a brooch that can also be a pendant. In works it's gonna be a short. That I should be able to post. If everything is okay, I should be able to post tomorrow. Okay, so I got some brown, and you're gonna say, oh, but it's so brown. Well, I'm not gonna leave it so brown. I'm gonna use a little bit of tape. And it's a little bit of a secret here, and I'll show it to you. Do I still have tape in here? Yes, I do. So first I'm going to try and remove everything that's on, pretty much on the top. If you'd like me to zoom in, let me know, and I will be happy to oblige. So first you want to remove really good the very top. Okay, this is my very last piece. I'm gonna have to go grab another tape roll. And by the way, I'm getting these tapes from Amazon, and I think I have them somewhere in the influencer store in packs of 5, and they come down to like under $2 a roll, and they are really good. Because even if I'm using them mostly for packing, they are great for this kind of stuff as well. So you want to insist a little bit on the teeth because you want the teeth to be more noticeable. But once you did this, you go back with the paintbrush and insist mostly on the more in stuff that's more recessed, but bring it back on the very top ones as well. Then the next thing is, and you can use toilet paper, you can use paper towels, you can use, it's entirely up to you, and you might have to do this a couple times. Just put a little bit of alcohol on this. And yes, you want the little texture doesn't really count. It's going to leave some streaks, but it's going to add to the whole ancient bone / skull effect. Let it dry and then go again on it. And the other thing that's going to happen when you do the whole alcohol thing, because remember, excuse me, remember that alcohol dries out the clay. This is why if you put too much alcohol inks on clay and then you start putting it somewhere, it's gonna start cracking. But in this case, because it dries it a little bit, what it's going to do is going to add some bone crackle to the whole thing. So let's go ahead and give it a little bit of bacon bond. Yeah, I think that mold is kind of a must for Halloweenish stuff, and not only. And as I said, you can do all kinds of stuff on your mug. What I'm showing you, it's not just the finished mug. I'm showing you various things that you can put on the mug, right? So let's give it a, make sure that it is nice and well stuck in here. And you might even want to go back with the paintbrush a little bit. And another thing that you can do to give it even more, just be careful and make sure that your hand doesn't start shaking. But this, if you do this, it's going to help the whole thing to stick to the clay underneath, to the baked clay underneath, and at the same time it will give even more dimension to your skull. And there we go. We have a nice skull on it. Just to give you an idea, just if you want to do a simple necklace, right? Let's say you just, I'm diverting a little bit, but just let's say that you want to make a simple necklace with some stuff hanging, or just a pendant. All you need, and you can use metallic waxes, you can use just the plain mica powder, you can use just the plain acrylic, metallic acrylic, but, and I'd suggest to do this with the dark gray pearl. Doesn't really matter if it is hematite, if it is graphite, if it is Fimo, Premo, or Cernit. Okay, this is a little bit too thick. And again, the only thing is that you have to make sure that you don't have a lot of clay that you're trying to push in the mold, and that the clay is very soft and well conditioned. So obviously the Cernit is going to work much better for this kind of stuff. And then you can use a cosmetic sponge, or you can use simply some wax paper. And you can, if you have one of these with a rounded edge, you can use it. If not, you can use a bowl stylus, you can use the end of a big paintbrush, whatever fits your need, whatever you have around and fits your need. And then I always use this pivoting blade thing that I actually learned from one of Lisa Pavelka's videos. And I'm going to actually use a mica powder because it looks better on raw clay. Because I cannot let the metallic wax harden and then buff it, right? It's not a good thing. So you just make yourself this little cabochon, and then you can put a backing on it or not, or whatever you want to do. And simply, I didn't even grab silver, I grabbed something else. You can make earrings. Yeah, that's why I'm pushing it on you, so you want it, so you make cool stuff, because it's one of the not very expensive things that can allow you to make a whole bunch of stuff for sale, or for friends, or for yourself even. So there we go, we have a nice skeleton hand. And it's good even for resin, if you're into resin. So here's the whole skeleton hand. So let me get you the directly, so you don't have to look for it too much. Now you might find it cheaper than what I have there, but I kind of doubt it, because you know that I keep going for 3-4 hours a week at least through my store to make sure that whatever I have there is still valid, and the price didn't change, and or there's not another stuff instead of what used to be. Because I told you I had the surprise. For example, let's say that I find a nice jar of metal flakes, right? And I grab it, I put it in the section for metal flakes and leaf. Then 3, 4, 5 months later, I go, it doesn't take that long, but generally, I'm talking, I would go and I looked through it, and surprise, surprise, it's shoe polish. I'm like, what the heck is the shoe polish doing in my metal foil list? Because they used the same code, but they just changed the product, and they do that a lot of times. The most dishonest Amazon sellers, and you can see that when you read the reviews. They would, for example, they would have something that's relatively cheap. Let's say you name it, a wallet, right? That's only like $5 or something. I saw it happen, and they get, because they can contact, and if you've ever had a video channel or something, you know that you're getting a whole bunch of requests in your email. Oh, we are an Amazon seller, and can you please give us reviews, and you can have our product for free. And not only that, but they are so brazen. They are like, oh, you go buy it and then send us the proof that you bought it, and we'll give you your money back. Huh? Anyway, so they get a lot of people to do reviews, and then they change, because they get like 4 and 5 stars, and then they change the product to something that is more expensive, and it's something completely different. But if you go and read the reviews, you're like, I'm buying a floor lamp, and it says in the review that it's the perfect size, and my bills and credit cards fit perfectly. You know, that's how you can bust them. But again, as I was saying, and the other thing is that talking about this mold, as you can see, there's 2 sizes, and you have the smallish size and you have the larger size, and they are pretty neat. For example, this one reminded me of the Corpse Bride. Talking of which, I watched it a couple nights ago, the Corpse Bride. I rewatched it, of course. It's on HBO. I have free HBO with my phone plan. Just to show you, this is one that I like a lot. Then there's a torso with all the rib cage and stuff. That's the Pirates flag, and I forgot what this one is. And there's a Baron Samedi. There's this one is a 2-headed skeleton, but this is the Princess Bride, the Corpse Bride, not the Princess Bride. Sorry, the Skeleton Bride, actually, is what it is. I'm gonna have to zoom in for you to see it better. And you can make all kinds of little cameos, or you can make a bracelet with charms. That's the neat part with polymer clay, that you have, if you have a mold, it's going to, let me place it right in the middle. Let's change the zooming. If you have a mold that you like, you can make so many things out of it, and without, even if you make many, actually, let me do the refocus. I think it's better. There you go. See the little skeleton bride. If you aren't able to figure it out, She's a profile, and she's got a ponytail. Anyway, so you can make all kinds of things with molds and without it repeating too much, right? So I showed you several things, and you can repeat them all together, all around. You can make one just with excuse me, just with bats, or you can make a whole bunch of dead trees, or put a whole bunch of skulls. And if you want to do more stuff for the mug next Sunday, excuse me, let me know, and we will do more stuff for a mug. If you want to do any kind of jewelry and stuff, again, let me know. I'm going to put a poll in the channel's community tab. If you access my my channel and my videos through the through your browser, I forgot how you access it through on a tablet. But anyway, if you go on my channel from your browser, you know you have, and sometimes you might even get notifications about stuff that I put up in the community. So not on the about, you can see if you ever lose my affiliate links or any other stuff, but see here, the community, this is where I put all kinds of things, and I'm going to post a poll about what should we do next Sunday. And remember, next Sunday is going to be a $100 gift certificate giveaway, and I am sorry that at this point I cannot really give much for the people in Europe. I will be giving, actually I did get enough. I need to update all my other countries' Amazons, but I think that I do have enough for a UK Amazon gift card. Okay, so it's Amazon Co. UK. Let me see if I didn't. Give me just a second, because I think that I did. Hold on. Gift cards. Yes, I do have enough to give £25 gift certificate for a UK subscriber. So if you are from the UK, I'll do a little separate thing. Just don't forget you have to be there, or if you can order from Amazon UK, just remember, be there at the beginning, and then you'll have to be there at the end as well when I do the drawings, in order to receive your gift certificate. Okay, so I'm gonna go finish my preparations for a potential tornadic activity tonight, because it's supposed to be around 7 o'clock, I think. It's because they posted in my area 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. so I need to make sure that I'm able to finish. Okay, we'll do that, and I'll try to see, because I know I have some findings and I might struggle. I have to warn you from the start, because remember that I have issues with my hands, but I might struggle. I'm going to try and do some jewelry put together. And remember, I might struggling with the wire and stuff because of my disability. but we can do something. Anyway, I'll pull the poll up, and don't forget, normally the next Sunday should be at the regular time at 12:30. Today was just a happening. But anyway, I will see you next time. Don't forget to thumbs up after we are done, and don't forget to use my Amazon influencer store and to use my PolyClay Play affiliate, because that allows me to do giveaways for you. Okay? And yeah, watch my Facebook, because I'll be posting. If you see me posting God save our souls, that then it means I'm in the in the closet. Okay. I hope so too. I hope so too. And it can be bad. Okay, see you all hopefully next Sunday. Okay? Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week to come.